Hundreds of years ago, the wind blowing in northern China did not just blow the soil away. A great wall was rising, but it was no ordinary structure. Those who built it were often unable to return due to harsh conditions, and did not have the opportunity to have their names engraved on the stones of the wall. Was the Great Wall of China, which is viewed with pride today, really built for defense, or was it built to control the people? Behind this massive structure lie countless hardships and sacrifices. Workers labored under extremely harsh conditions to build this wall, which is approximately 21,000 kilometers long. Some, unfortunately, lost their lives before it was completed. The hardships and losses experienced during construction are hidden in the stones of the wall. The Great Wall of China is not just a structure, it is also a symbol of great history and human labor. In this video, we will explore the unknown aspects of the Great Wall of China and the stories behind it. Why it was built, the original purpose of the Great Wall of China. The story behind the Great Wall of China is much more complex and dark than you might think. Over the centuries, this massive structure was built piece by piece. But the real grand campaign began during the reign of China's first emperor, Qin Shi Huangdi. Simply put, it wasn't to protect his own territory. At that time, China was facing constant attacks from nomadic tribes living in the north, especially the Xiongnu. But it wasn't just for defense. There was also a need for a magnificent symbol to demonstrate the emperor's power. Emperor Qin Shi Huang wanted to shout to everyone that this was the border of China. And in doing so, he wanted to intimidate and subjugate the people beyond simply stopping the nomads' raids. But how effective was the defensive power of this massive wall? The truth is, the enemies found ways to bypass the wall. Instead of destroying it, the nomads managed to pass over, under, and around it. Thus, the Great Wall of China served another purpose beyond defense. The wall did not merely protect the land, it also protected the people's minds. It symbolized the emperor's power and might. It was the stone-carved expression of a system built on fear and obedience. The Great Wall of China was, in fact, a defense not only against the enemy, but also against its own people. Buried among the stones of this massive wall were not only the laborers, but also the people's hopes and freedom. Hell, under construction, who was employed? Who do you think carried the stones used to build the Great Wall of China? No one there was a worker. They were conscripted soldiers, prisoners, or even victims. Criminals, fugitives, and dissidents were forcibly taken there by order of the emperor. Working there was a punishment, and death was imminent. The fate of those who tried to escape was clear: immediate execution. The villagers were a different story. Thousands of people who couldn't pay their taxes or were crushed by poverty were conscripted as labor by the state. There was no escape for them because returning home was forbidden. Workers came not only from the villages but also from the army. At certain times, even soldiers were exiled to this cursed task outside of war. In short, working there was not a job but a test between life and death. Stones and soil were carried by hand, in baskets, and on the backs of animals, and workers had to work long hours without rest. There were almost no beds, shelters, or even basic necessities. Those forced to spend the night on cold stones were breaking down from exhaustion and illness. How challenging were the physical conditions? During the construction of the Great Wall of China, workers faced incredibly harsh conditions. The scorching heat of the Gobi Desert baked them during the day, while at night the temperature dropped to -30 degrees Celsius at the top of the mountains. Working in such harsh conditions was inhumane, and many workers lost their lives before the project was completed. Diseases and hunger. During the construction of the Great Wall of China, workers not only had to contend with harsh climatic and physical conditions, but also with disease and starvation. Epidemic diseases such as malaria, dysentery, and diarrhea spread rapidly. While malnutrition and lack of clean water weakened their bodies, they were forced to survive on just one meal a day, typically rice porridge or cold vegetable soup. This inadequate nutrition broke their resilience and exacerbated the effects of disease. The combination of starvation and disease led to the deaths of many workers in the midst of their labor. Escape equals death. It was impossible for workers building the Great Wall of China to escape because those who attempted to do so were immediately executed. And these punishments were extremely harsh in order to serve as a deterrent. Attempts to escape resulted in punishment not only for the worker who fled, but sometimes also for their family. The system was so terrifying and harsh that even the lifeless bodies of those who fled were hung on top of the wall to intimidate others. Therefore, no matter how difficult the conditions were, attempting to escape meant facing death. Lifeless bodies were buried inside the wall. So many workers lost their lives during the construction of the Great Wall of China that it was impossible to bury all of their bodies properly. As a result, many workers' bodies were left at the base of the wall or between the stones. Historians therefore refer to the Great Wall of China as the world's longest graveyard. This situation shows how harsh the conditions were during the construction of the structure and how great the cost to human life was. Effects after completion. Did it really work from a military point of view? Was the Great Wall of China completely effective from a military standpoint? Actually, no. Nomadic tribes discovered that the wall was not merely a physical barrier and found different ways to overcome it. Rather than demolishing the wall, they crossed over it, dug tunnels underneath it, or continued their attacks using side roads. Thus, the wall was largely a tool for monitoring the northern border and slowing down attacks, but it was not possible to completely stop the enemy. For this reason, the Great Wall of China became more of a symbolic defense tool than a military strategy. Economic and social costs. The construction of the Great Wall of China came at a great economic and social cost. The labor and deaths of tens of thousands of people negatively affected agricultural production and lowered the living standards of the people. Taxes increased, poverty rose, and migration began in many regions. These difficulties led to unrest and rebellion among the people. In short, the wall was not merely a physical barrier, but also a deep and long-lasting burden on society. From a political perspective, propaganda tool. The Great Wall of China was not only a military structure, it also became a powerful propaganda tool to demonstrate the emperor's power. The wall was used to exert pressure on the people and reinforce the emperor's authority. Thanks to this great structure, the perception that the emperor was powerful and invincible was created in people's minds. Thus, the wall served as both a physical and psychological barrier and played an important role in keeping the people together. Cultural and historical heritage. The Great Wall of China is not only a defensive structure, but also one of the most important symbols of China's cultural and historical heritage. Expanded and repaired by different dynasties over thousands of years, the wall represents the determination, resilience, and hardships experienced by the Chinese people throughout history. Today, visited by millions of people around the world, the Great Wall of China continues to serve as a symbol of cultural identity and national pride. A living witness to Chinese history. The Great Wall of China is not just a massive structure built of stones. It is a history book shaped by the labor, suffering, and sacrifice of thousands of people. This wall was not built merely to stop enemies, but also to symbolize the power of an emperor and the resilience of his people. However, no matter how magnificent the truths behind it may be, we must not forget the human stories that lie beneath that magnificence. Today, as the Great Wall of China is protected as a World Heritage Site, it is our duty to remember the difficult and painful past hidden between its stones. Learning from history means carrying the burden of the past and building the future more consciously. If you liked this video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and share your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.